Welcome back to Healing Oats, and I'm here with the 2023 overall message for Gemini. And this is going through all the houses of astrology. As you can see, I have this new mat that I've made for myself with the houses of astrology, a brief introduction to what the houses are about. And what I'm going to do is be looking at each house. I'll be looking at each house for you, Gemini, to see what is in store for you overall, the energy within that house for 2023. So I hope everybody's doing fine, and I would like to get started now. I will then look for what is your potential blind spot so that you can work on for 2023. So the first is the first house, which is self-identity, appearance, and your approach to life. The second house is your money, income, work, job, your values, your habits. The next is the third house, which is your mindset, communication, your brother, sister, sibling. And then there is the fourth house, which is about your family, your home, your self-care, and also your mother, children. The fifth house is about your romance, love affairs, your creativity, fertility, self-expression, and if you're an entrepreneur, your business. The next is the sixth house, which is health, fitness. So your work habits, organization, and how you feel useful in the world. The seventh house is relationships, marriage, business partners, contracts, and interpersonal style. So that's your seventh house. The eighth house is your mergings with people, shared finances, taxes, loans, joint ventures, intimacy, inheritances, sex, mysteries, and transformation. The ninth house, we have travel, philosophy or ethics, higher education, cross-cultural relations, learning, and also religion. We have in the 10th house, career, long-term goals, status, reputation, our public image, our fathers. We have in the 11th house, our friends, the people we hang around with, our social awareness, technology, our hopes and our wishes, and our future for the 11th house. The 12th house, we have endings, healings, closure, solitude, spirituality, karma, and also limiting beliefs and our subconscious. So some hidden things there. So we have a card for each of these, and we're going to get right into it, Gemini, and look at your first house. So this is how you appear in the world, your identity, your attitude, your approach to life. And what I'm showing here is that the King of Swords is here. And to me, this shows that there needs to be some inward focus. As we know, swords about thought, what's going on in our mind. The king is a strength. And also the fact that he has this dagger, this sword, the small dagger, I should say, placed going down, and instead of pointing out, like here, this is in the reverse position. So as far as your appearance and yourself, Gemini, for 2023, what I'm showing here, the indication is for you that there are roads ahead of you that might cause, that you might have some confrontation on, right? So what you need to do is you might feel that you might have to be very powerful or coercive or do things to get around this confrontation. But what you need to do is remember that if you're using those types of things, if you're trying to be cunning, you might have consequences that you have to deal with later on. So you have to steady yourself and go within and know that you have to make sure that you're on the upright, or I should say you're upfront, and you stay on the straight and narrow. You do things by the book instead of being underhanded. And this has to do with yourself, your identity, attitude, and approach to life. So whatever you're doing, approach it in an upright, upfront situation. So play by the book. That's what I would say for you, Gemini. Play by the book. And also, you must be reasonable. And here he's again, as we can see, eyes closed, meditating, looking inward. And here it gives us the feeling that he is listening to his soul to make sure he stays on track. So So listen to your soul to stay on track with your approach to life for 2023. Although you might have some difficulties or confrontations, don't do anything underhanded. The second house is money, income, our work ethic, our daily routines, our habits, and our jobs. And here we have Judgment card, and this is positive and upright for you. So what it indicates to me here with these things is that you're going to have a revival, or I would say not even a revival, an elevation in these areas of your life, right? So what we know is that positively, it says that there is a rebirth in this area for you. You're going to be recognized, and also what you have done will be recognized. Not just about you, but your hard work that you've put in. You're going to get your much deserved recognition this year, 2023. And the universe is going to make sure this happens for you, right? It also again says here, do what you're doing honestly, because that's what's going to return to you, right? So you need to be honest and upright in everything that you do, Gemini, and you will be rewarded. All the hard work you've done before this is going to be recognized. You will be rewarded. And this is the house of money. This is the house of work. This is the house of your finance, the ones that the finance you work for. So at work, you will be rewarded. So here we go. Mindset and thinking, communication in the third house, siblings. This also speaks about neighbors, education, and your interests. So here in the third house, we see the Queen of Cups. So this indicates to me that, and it's in the positive position, that there is the energy of abundance, and not only just abundance, but an abundance of warmth, love, things that are positive. And this, like I said, has to do with your siblings. So this could, or your neighbors. So this indicates good relations with those people in those areas for 2023 for you. And in particular, we note it says that you're to express yourself with kindness and compassion, and everything is going to turn out well, as you deserve. Again, all of this is talking about keeping your behavior as you normally do, as it should be, on the straight up, straight and narrow, doing things the right way, being compassionate, being kind, and also this will cause you to be rewarded, okay? And it says that your good will be rewarded. There won't be any doubts. Things will go well for you. So that sounds wonderful. Also, when you communicate with people, this would indicate to me, because this is the house of communication, also when you communicate, be compassionate in your communication with people, Gemini, for 2023. So everything looks good so far. We have the fourth house, which is about your family, your roots, your home, privacy, your mother, women in your life, and femininity. So here we have what we can see is the Seven of Wands. But this is in the upright position. Seven of Wands normally means that you have a lot going on, but you're staying above it. You're managing it, and you're victorious with it. So this is in that area of your home, women that you're dealing with, your mother. You might have a lot going on, but you certainly have control over what is going on in these areas. And in particular, we see that you shouldn't be afraid of anything that's challenging, because they're going to come up, but you can overcome them. And you can even do more than people that are maybe at your same level, or that are around you can do. You are committed. And so therefore, it says that there is an opportunity for you to manage great feats. You're going to get things done this year in 2023, Gemini. You are going to get things done. And this is within your home, with the women in your life, if you have children, with your children, and also about self-care. So this is about some of the more private things that you have going on, but you're going to win. Your efforts will pay off. So let's see now your fifth house, which is about romance, play, creativity, business, if you have any. This can also be about Pleasure, the pleasures in your life. Here we see another card of striving, the Five of Wands. And this is also in the upright position. And this normally means some type of a competition or people striving, trying to move up or move forward. And this is also, like I said before, for if you have a business for yourself, because it's the card of entrepreneurs. And here it says, because you're tenacious, because you're always making sure you keep fighting and moving forward, whether it's the romance that you have, your personal relationships, your work, whatever it is, it says that you are going to have to continue doing so. Keep going in the direction that you know you're supposed to be going in, Gemini. Because even if people disagree with you, it's not because they're against you, not that they're your enemies, but they're just looking at things from a different viewpoint, right? And it's not that them trying to have conflict with you. Just be strong and keep going in your direction you know you need to go in, because you will be successful and you are correct. And again, that had to do is if you had a business, your romance, your love affairs, your creativity, things that you're creating also. So that is a positive there for you. Again, a lot of success here for you in 2023, Gemini. We have now the 6th house, which is about your health, systems around you, the service that you provide, your work habits, your organization, and also your sense of usefulness in the world. And here we have the Knight of Wands. So we know that knights are about action and moving forward. This one happens to be in the so-called negative position. So what it indicates here to me, with these things that you have dealing with in the 6th house, health and fitness, those types of things, you might have a bit of opportunity for improvement. It basically says that you need to be careful about being impulsive. You need to be careful about being impulsive, because then your results will only be temporary in these areas, right? And also it will not be positive for you, for those around you that could be benefiting you or helping you, right? Don't doubt yourself. In also is the next thing it's telling us here. So if you're working on something to do with your health or your fitness and your work habits or the way that you perform in the world, right? The service you give to the world. Don't doubt yourself in those things, and also don't be impulsive in them, right? You know what you're doing, and the people around you know that you know what you're doing. So although everything might not work out perfectly, you do, or they do, see your value. Even though everything might not, again, work out perfectly, those around you see and know and acknowledge your value. Don't be impulsive, don't rush, okay? So that is your message for your 6th house, Gemini, about your health mainly, and your service to the world, and how you operate within your different environments. Here we have the 7th house. This is one-to-one relationships, like marriage, contracts with business partners, and also your style, your sharing and your style. So here we have the Queen of Pentacles. We can see that the Queen of Pentacles here is in the so-called negative position. So for you, your one-to-one relationships, partnerships, contracts, and things like that, here it states that you need to make sure that you stay on top of what's going on, because you could end up with a diminishment in these areas or a decrease in these areas because you've taken your eye off the ball, right? Because something could fall out of line. So you need to make sure that you stay on top of things. It says things like where you manage your friendships, your love life, but mainly focused on money and work. You need to be remaining prosperous in everything, and abundant in everything that you do, right? And it makes sense for you to work with those around you so that you will be guaranteed success in those areas. So this negative position only means that you need to keep an eye on what is going on in those areas so that they don't slip away from you. And the areas that we're talking about here in the 7th house are the one-to-one relationships, your business partnerships, or your marriage contracts that you have also. Keep an eye on your contracts. Also, your interpersonal style, how you deal with other people. Keep an eye on what is going on so that you're able to make sure that you are in the position that you need to be in, Gemini, and that people aren't overtaking you. So that is for the 7th house. And our 8th house now, we have mergings, sex, intimacy, inheritance, property, joint ventures, and resources, our partner's resources, and also transformation. So here we can see that we have the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords here is in a negative position. And this for you would indicate that you still have some, you would call it, things to face, enemies. And in this case, it could even be the enemy is you. Because sometimes we know we're our own worst enemy because of our being self-conscious or really not thinking things out thoroughly, right? It says the most difficult opponent is probably and can be yourself. But you need to look at what you're willing to give up, right? And what you're willing to do to win or to succeed in your goals. And it says that you also need to know that you must keep your cool, because that is how you're going to stay on top, regardless of what the outcome is, right? So don't be your worst enemy by losing your cool. And this has to do with your inheritance, intimacy, shared finances, taxes, loan, property, joint ventures, and also transformation. But mainly, the main message of this basically is keep your cool in whatever you're doing. And that way you will be the winner. Whether it's the internal dialogue you have with yourself or whether it's people that are outside of you or those around you, I should say. Okay, we go on to our 9th house, which is about travel, wisdom, philosophy, ethics, higher education, law, religion, and also learning. So here we see there is the 2 of Cups, but the 2 of Cups is in a position where it is not exactly, they're not facing each other. They're turning in different directions. So it says here that this is a period that could be filled with misunderstandings and also divisions, and also the communication will be a bit off. Nobody's listening. They're not looking and they're not listening to each other. So be careful of misunderstandings with those around you, and especially when it has to do with your learning, your travel, your philosophy, ethics, those types of things. So making sure that you're listening. It says it's not recommended to make decisions that are sentimental or to confront people because they may not be ready to listen and or to speak, right? So what you need to do is look into the hearts of those close to you and into your own heart. And there you may find many answers. So this kind of goes back here to say that, you need to deal with people, speak with people, communicate with people with compassion. That's what this is saying to me. Again, that is, again, covering that situation. We then have our 10th house, which is about careers, long-term goals, your public image, and your father, and or maybe fame and reputation. And here, this shows definitely a positive, because here's the Hierophant, and he is in the positive position. And he's letting us know that for 2023, Gemini, it says that you should have faith in the future and the goodness of people. You're going to be led on the correct path. And you yourself are going to become ready to lead and to advise others. It also speaks about sharing your spiritual wealth and also embracing tradition. So you are wise enough not only to take direction and guidance, but also to give direction and guidance. And this is in your career, right? This is with your long-term goals. So whatever your profession is, I would say, your status, your reputation, your public image, you're looked up to. So that's wonderful, Gemini. We have the 11th house, which is about the people that you hang around with, your group, your friends, technology, your hopes and wishes, and your future. And here we have the Queen of Wands. You have quite a few queens here. You have 2 queens in your reading. And let's see. That's good. That's very good. So we see the Queen of Wands here. And again, reminding myself, like I said, I'm learning. Group, friends, humanitarian, social awareness, technology, hopes and wishes, and your future. And the Queen of Wands here is in the upright position. And so she's showing us that you bring beauty to all aspects of life, and with it, peace and harmony. And it says, friendships, in your friendships, you're faithful, generous, and sincere. And it's also, people welcome your strength and your advice. You're an inspiration, which here it also says that people look up to you. It seems to me that with the people that are around you, you're doing better. But in the relationships that are more personal to you, you'll have to take more time and more effort to put into those relationships in 2023. Okay, we now have your 12th house, and this speaks about endings, healing, closure, spirituality, and also things hidden, limiting beliefs, and the subconscious. So here is the Ace of Swords, and we know the swords are about the thought or the plans, moving or coming up with a new idea, new concept with the Ace. So let's see. For your Ace of Swords, we see that that is actually in the negative position for this house, which is about the subconscious, things that are hidden. And this is the house, I think sometimes they talk about hidden enemies. It says here that you should not if you have any people that are in conflict with you, it says that you have power and you have wit, but don't be vain, don't be abusive, right? Don't be aggressive. You have this strength, but don't overdo it. Because what happens is, when you get to the point where you maybe are not as strong, or let's say you're taking your eye off the ball, people might exploit that. So in dealing with people and things that you're not sure of or that are not completely outward, if somebody is aggressive to you or is confronting you, only do what is necessary. Don't overdo it, although that you know you might have the upper hand over them, so that they will then be able to back down without having their egos hurt and over retaliating. So that is the key. So Gemini, we can see for 2023, you do have some challenges, but you also have some wonderful things that are bringing you stability and abundance within your life. And you have a guarantee of success and victory. And this will be if you deal with yourself appropriately, by not doubting yourself, and also deal with others appropriately, because you're dealing them with compassion and taking more time to listen. And you will be looked up to here, not only within the sphere of your career, but also your friends, your neighbors, the people around you will look up to you because of the person that you are. So you have a wonderful year ahead of you, Gemini. I'm going to just look to see if there's anything that you should be paying attention to, if there's a blind spot, something that you need to look to in 2023 and pay attention to. So we have the sigil here for you for the blind spot that has been indicated for you, Gemini, for 2023. And we can see this is, it says you're asked to see that society has made self-focus and self-interest bad and wrong, so that you can no longer see selfishness and self-interest in yourself. Instead, you've disguised it as altruism. To explain this basically says, when you have self-centered interests, they may become dangerous because we might be not consciously aware of them. And it warns that you have to It'll benefit you to spend time understanding this, that you might be doing something that you think is the right thing to do, but you have to do it in a way that it considers other people, is what it's saying. So that might be your blind spot, but not only that, it considers other people, that other people know that you are being considerate. Not saying bend over backwards to people, but it says you have a desire to see yourself as a good person, and all that you do is good or is in the best interest, but you have to be careful of how you do what you do and how you deliver the message so that people don't think that it is all about you, that you have ego, because you do have presence and you are liked, and you do have the ability to not only lead but also to be an example. So just be careful how you deal with people so that they don't take things the wrong way and think that you are, you know, in it all for yourself. So Gemini, that is your potential blind spot. Have a wonderful 2023. Come back and watch the video a few times. Please subscribe and share this video, and also watch other videos for your other friends and family members to see what 2023 holds for them. So thank you again. Bye-bye.